to be the best version of yourself, you better make that decision to let go that bitterness. Welcome to Restoring the Inner Person with Jane. In our today's episode, I'm talking about bitterness. Bitterness is a silent poison that eats the inner person. It is very silent. It does not show in the outside, but in the inside, it eats our joy, our happiness, and it can also manifest in body aches and pains. We have already looked at some 2 other obstacles that make us not face the truth with grace as being the very first step towards restoring the inner person. That is denial and shame. And therefore, it tells us that facing the truth, taking the first step, is never that easy. But this morning, I'm here to encourage you to take it with grace, to strengthen yourself, because you can do it. So, bitterness is not just having an angry moment. It is a resentment that digs deep into the inner person. It can hold you ransom. It can make you get stuck. And it can also make you experience body pains like headaches, backaches, leg aching, all types of pains. Bitterness can also be looked at as frozen anger. When you put something in a refrigerator, it can last for a long time. It can stay there very dormant without, changing. That is the same thing that bitterness does. It is something that has been accumulated for quite some time. Maybe something has repeated itself and bitterness has accumulated, and we seem to be going our day-to-day lives in a normal way, but we have held and we have frozen bitterness inside ourselves. What makes us experience bitterness? Maybe you have been betrayed. Betrayal is one of the causes of bitterness. You may be betrayed by very close people who you trusted. You entrusted them with your heart, maybe in a relationship. You entrusted them with your property. You entrusted them with your money and many things. So betrayal is about broken trust. Because human beings are social beings, we always relate with others. And one of the key things to relationships is trust. So when this trust is broken, we feel betrayed. And the first reaction is anger. But when this betrayal is replayed in our minds, or even in reality, this betrayal repeats itself, it can accumulate into our system as bitterness. So the other thing is when we have expectations in our lives that are unmet. All of us have dreams. All of us have goals. Especially when we are young, we have our dreams. We have our plans, short term, medium term, and even long term. And when maybe at a certain point in our lives, our plans fail, our vision do not come to be, we can be faced with frustration. You can have unmet expectations. You can also have unmet expectations, maybe in terms of relationship. You get into a relationship, you have your expectations. And when those expectations are not met, you can harbor bitterness. You can also feel like we have said already, maybe betrayed by a person. And this can resort to bitterness. And maybe if it's in a marriage, for example, and you continue living with a person, and these expectations, you face them on a day-to-day basis for a long time, it results not just to mere anger, but to bitterness that eats into the very being that we are. It eats into the inner person. It eats into our mental faculties. It also eats into the physical person. It can manifest as sickness. It can manifest as body pains, like we have already said, unmet expectations in our lives. You also find people get very bitter when maybe they have found themselves in conflicts. When conflicts occur between people, it's normal. Human beings, being social beings, are not always peaceful. We can get into conflict. We can get into disagreements. Disagreements can lead to many other things like fights, loss of property because somebody has taken away something that is belongs to you. You are in conflict because when people are in conflict, we have sometimes resources involved. Resources can come in many forms. It can be in terms of money. It can be different forms of property like land, and many other things. And when people have disagreements, one party or one individual can lose property or resources to the other party, which can result into a lot of bitterness. When these conflicts are not resolved, the end product is bitterness. It can be between individuals, it can be between groups of people, or it can be in larger groups in society, one company and the other one, and even one country and the other one. So another thing is when maybe as an individual you face injustices in life. You face mistreatment. Yes, being mistreated, not being treated right by people you expect to treat you right. We are social beings. It could be very close people to you, your own parents, your siblings, your relatives, your spouse, and they do injustice to you. Let's say, for example, a spouse has died. I have seen this one mostly happening when the male spouse dies and the female or the wife is left. And maybe the rest of the relatives, they take away all the property. Or that person is chased away from the home. I've seen it happen here in Africa. That is mistreatment. It can result to a lot of bitterness. A lot of bitterness. So, having said that, we realize that bitterness, like I've said earlier, is deep-rooted. A person can be walking in bitterness, but it is not easy. It could be frozen, and it's not easy for people to notice. How can you be able to tell that you are bitter? How can you be able to tell that another person is bitter? One of the things is that you may find yourself repeating the injustices that have been done to you, the offenses, the mistreatment, the conflicts. You find yourself repeating, speaking about it over and over again, and not necessarily to other people. You could be rehearsing this in yourself, recalling the story, recalling the incidences over and over again, and it continues to make the bitterness stronger and stronger in you and eating into your very being, the inner person, making it very difficult to make the first step of facing the truth. Why? Because you keep on rehearsing, you keep on talking about it, and as a result, it blocks your mind, it blocks your heart, it blocks the whole system from taking the very first step towards restoring the inner person. Another thing, you may find yourself having difficulties celebrating other people, appreciating their progress. Have you found people like that? Or are you one of them? Such that when other people have made progress, they have made achievements, you find it very difficult for you to be happy for them. It could be a sign of bitterness. Bitterness has eaten into you. You are not happy, and as a result, you are not able to be happy for other people. Another thing is distrust. You don't trust people. You don't trust anyone. Is it normal not at least to trust one person? When you look at your list of confidence of very close people to you, maybe you go striking all of them and you find at the end of the day, there's none you can trust. Why? Because you have been mistreated maybe, you've been hurt, you've been betrayed, and therefore trusting people becomes very difficult for you. Another thing is not being able to be happy. When you are bitter, you are not able to be happy. You are not able to experience joy. Why? Because that bitterness that is frozen, the place it occupies in the inner person is the very part that you are supposed to experience happiness, to experience joy. Are you one of those people and you find yourself, you are not, there's nothing that makes you happy. You could be in the middle of a group of people and they are very excited about something, and you find yourself, not finding anything funny about what they are happy about. You start even getting annoyed that people are excited, they are happy, because for you, you do not find anything to be happy about. It could be because you are having frozen bitterness. It is deep-rooted into you. You have kept it there and closed it there. You never want to let go. Why? Because somebody wronged you. Somebody betrayed you. But I hope by now you realize the only person who can set you free is you. That frozen bitterness, it is only you who can decide to warm it up so that it can melt. Nobody else can do that. So for you to be able to start restoring yourself, to start freeing yourself, to start being able to be happy, to enjoy life, to appreciate people around you, to appreciate yourself, to be yourself, to be the best version of yourself, you better make that decision to let go that bitterness, to start warming it up, to let it melt, to let it get out of your system. Another thing I want to add, do you know it's very hard when you are full of bitterness, you are not able to enjoy the presence of God, to have a deep relationship with God. You may be believing in God. In your mental ability, you know God is there. But when it comes to experiencing the joy of God, the presence of God, it becomes difficult. So, having looked at denial, now shame, now we are looking at bitterness. These are the things that you need to deal with as you take this step. But I realize that it calls for a lot of your willpower. It calls for a lot of your strength. Summoning all the strength that you have and making a decision and a choice and realizing that it's about you. The bitterness, the shame, the denial. It is you that they are destroying, not the people that you think or in reality they wronged you. They have betrayed you. Bitterness, you make a choice to let go. But it doesn't mean that the mistakes that occurred are not mistakes. Yes, we accept somebody did wrong. Somebody betrayed you. Systems betrayed you. Systems mistreated you. But you choose to let mistakes be, but allow yourself to have a chance to heal. Yes, as we look forward, something else you can do is to choose to forgive. Forgiveness helps you to have a release from bitterness, from shame, and all other things that are holding you back. Forgiving doesn't mean mistakes become rights, but you are choosing to release yourself by forgiving, even when the other parties have not asked for forgiveness. You choose to deal with mistakes when you've already forgiven. And apart from forgiving others, important is you forgive yourself and also ask for forgiveness from God. And also pray to God that He also forgives other people. God is always a forgiving person. He's always willing to forgive you and forgive others. And on that note, I want to read the Bible in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 31. This is what it says. Let all bitterness and wrath, anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice. Who will do that? It is you who will make that decision. It is you who will make that step to let all bitterness, all wrath, anger and clamor and evil speaking be out of your system. Yes, let them be. Let them be. Acknowledge that you are hurt. Accept that you've been hurt. Make a decision to forgive yourself and other people. Colossians 3:13 says this, even as Christ forgave you, so also do ye. Just like Christ forgives us, forgive other people. Seek forgiveness from Christ. Seek forgiveness from other people. and forgive yourself. Free yourself from bitterness. Free from yourself from anger. Do not hold yourself ransom. I want to tell you this day that bitterness is a heavy burden, but you don't have to carry it another day. Christ invites you to lay it at his feet and walk in freedom. If this teaching has spoken to you, I want to encourage you to take time to pray and ask God to show you the hidden roots of bitterness in your heart. Remember, healing the inner person is a journey, and you are not alone. That is why we are here. And remember, God is with you. If you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who really needs it, and make sure you subscribe to Restoring the Inner Person with Jane.